Imagine waking up tomorrow and you can't remember your best friend's name, is just gone. You're standing in a parking lot, but you have no idea which car is yours. You aren't getting old, your brain is physically shrinking. Right now, in 2026, we are living through a cognitive crisis. Harvard Health has identified 4 massive brain killers, but the truth is actually much worse. There are 10 everyday habits, things you probably think are productive or normal, that are eating away at your gray matter like acid. I'm breaking down the science from Harvard and Cedars-Sinai to show you why your brain volume might be decreasing as we speak. But stay with me, because by the end of this video, I'm giving you the Neuro Reset Protocol. The exact daily fixes that don't just stop the damage, they can actually help rebuild your brain power. Your future self is either going to thank you or regret today. Let's dive in. The stakes, the 30-year-old myth. Most people think dementia is a 70-year-old problem. Science says they're wrong. Cognitive decline actually starts in your 30s and 40s. It's a slow burn fueled by micro-habits. The good news? Your brain has neuroplasticity. It's like a muscle. If you stop poisoning it and start training it, it can heal. But first, we have to identify the 10. Don't skip number 7, very urgent, and number 10 is my favorite. Habit 1. The sitting disease. You're probably sitting right now. Harvard researchers found that excessive sitting is linked to the thinning of your medial temporal lobe. That's the part of your brain responsible for every new memory you make. Every extra hour you spend in that chair is essentially shaving your memory. It's not just about not exercising. Researchers at UCLA found that sedentary behavior is linked to thinning in the medial temporal lobe, MTL. This is the brain's gateway for new memories. Imagine your brain as a muscle. When you sit for 8 hours, the blood flow to your head slows down, and the oxygen levels drop. You are essentially suffocating the part of your brain that remembers where you put your keys or what you learned in a meeting. For every hour you sit beyond 6 hours, your risk of brain thinning increases significantly, even if you work out later. The fix? I'll show you the 2-minute interrupt later in the video. Habit 2. The cortisol acid bath, chronic stress. Chronic stress isn't just a feeling, it's a chemical attack. High cortisol levels physically wither the hippocampus. If you're constantly doom-scrolling the news or obsessing over work, your brain cells are literally being digested by stress hormones. When you're chronically stressed, your body is flooded with cortisol. In small doses, it's fine, but chronically? Cortisol acts like an acid on the hippocampus, the learning center. Prolonged stress actually causes the brain to lose synaptic connectivity. Your brain cells literally disconnect from each other. This is why when you're stressed, you blank out or can't think clearly. You aren't just distracted, your hardware is temporarily unplugged. Habit 3. The trash buildup. Sleep deprivation. Think of sleep as a dishwasher for your head. During deep sleep, your brain flushes out beta amyloid, the toxic protein linked to Alzheimer's. If you get less than 7 hours, that trash stays in your brain. You aren't just tired, your brain is filled up with toxic. Your brain has a plumbing system called the glymphatic system. It only turns on full blast during deep sleep. Think of a restaurant kitchen. If they never wash the dishes at night, the next morning is a disaster. If you sleep 5 to 6 hours, you're leaving yesterday's brain trash in your head. Over 10 years, that trash turns into permanent brain fog. Habit 4. The sweet shrinkage. Sugar and processed food. High sugar doesn't just go to your hips, it goes to your head. Ultra-processed foods cause brain inflammation, leading to lower brain volume. That soda is quite literally shrinking your IQ. High-sugar diets don't just cause insulin resistance in the body, they cause it in the brain. This is often called type 3 diabetes. When your brain is inflamed from ultra-processed fats and sugars, it produces less BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. BDNF is like miracle grow for your brain. Less BDNF means no new brain cells. You're effectively stopping your brain from growing. Habit 5. The silent killer. Social isolation. Loneliness is as damaging to your brain as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Your neurons require the electric stimulation of human connection to stay alive. Isolation isn't just lonely, it's neurotoxic. Social isolation triggers a biological hunger in the brain. A study in The Lancet showed that social isolation in midlife is one of the biggest preventable risk factors for dementia. When we don't talk to people, our brain's prefrontal cortex, the CEO, starts to go dormant. It doesn't have to navigate complex social cues, so it begins to prune those connections to save energy. Use it or lose it. Habit 6. The chemical squeeze, alcohol and smoking. Smoking restricts oxygenated blood flow, while alcohol is a direct neurotoxin. Even moderate habits over a decade lead to visible abnormalities in brain scans. You're suffocating your neurons. Habit 7. Popcorn brain. Passive screen time. Picking up your phone the second you wake up fries your dopamine receptors. We're developing popcorn brain, a state where your mind is so used to the 5-second hit of a reel that it can no longer process real life. It's digital lobotomy. Doomscrolling 15-second clips trains your brain to expect a dopamine hit every few seconds. The danger: this creates a high neural threshold. When you try to read a book or have a deep conversation, your brain thinks it's boring because there isn't a constant hit. You are physically rewiring your brain to have the attention span of a toddler. Habit 8. The multitasking lie. You aren't a multitasker, you're a switch tasker. Every time you jump from an email to a notification, you weaken your brain's ability to focus deeply. You're training your brain to be distracted. A study from the University of Sussex found that people who high multitask, watching TV while on a phone and eating, had lower gray matter density in the anterior cingulate cortex. That's the area responsible for empathy and emotional control. Multitasking doesn't make you faster, it makes you less emotionally stable and less intelligent. Habit 9. The dark morning syndrome. If you don't see sunlight within 60 minutes of waking, your circadian rhythm breaks. This slows down your cognitive processing speed and ruins your sleep 16 hours later. Your brain runs on light. Your brain has a master clock called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It needs 10,000 plus lux of light in the morning to set your focus timers. If you stay in a dark room with just your phone light, your brain stays in a twilight state. This causes sleep inertia where you feel groggy until 2 p.m. Your brain never truly wakes up to its full potential. Habit 10. The grudge decay, negative rumination. Holding a grudge isn't just bad for your mood, it's bad for your biology. Pessimism and constant negative looping are linked to higher tau protein buildup. Your bitterness is aging your brain. Neuroplasticity works both ways. If you constantly think, "I'm not good enough," or "I hate that person," you are building a superhighway for negative thoughts. Your thoughts are literally shaping the physical architecture of your skull. The Neuro Reset Protocol, the solution. Here is your brain protection checklist. The 30-minute rule: stand up every 30 minutes. Movement pumps oxygen to the brain. The mind diet: shift to berries, leafy greens, and fatty fish. These are the building blocks of brain repair. The analog hour: no screens for the first hour of the day and the last hour before bed. The 10-minute sun soak: get outside, even if it's cloudy. Reset your master clock. Monotasking: pick one hard task and do it for 25 minutes with 0 notifications. This is weightlifting for your focus. Dr. Zaldi Tan from Cedars-Sinai emphasizes that social interaction is one of the most underrated medicines for aging brains. Also, a quick warning, check your volume. Chronic loud noise via headphones is a direct shortcut to hearing loss, which is one of the highest correlated factors for dementia. Your brain isn't a hard drive that just fills up and dies, it's a living organ that responds to how you treat it today. If this video opened your eyes, let's start the change right now. 1. Drop a comment. Which one of these 10 habits are you quitting first? 2. Hit like. It tells the algorithm this science matters. 3. Share this. You might be the reason a friend keeps their memory 20 years from now.